And there I was. I had done it again. I had gotten on the wrong plane. Who knows where I was going
Card
and...
activated. Commence briefing.
Wait a minute, who is this?
Data on the subject, Kadir Suleiman. A local political figure hired to maintain order after the outbreak. His brother Hassan died in a
I had no idea who these people were, where I was, or why humans can't just get along anywhere, so I made it my mission to get down into that city and bring peace, prosperity, and balance back to those people. Well, things started off a bit rough by casually shattering my ankle, but I would bring peace to... Wait, stop! Stop, I'm a good guy! I'm here to... I said stop! These guys clearly didn't know I worked for the government. They definitely would have treated me differently. Well, those punks ran like cowards, and then this punk ran towards me like a cow and bit my arm. Luckily, I was saved by a local baseball player in the town goth GF who I would absolutely let break my heart any day. Of course, we were chased into a small building with a locked door. And I could tell these guys were amateurs at bringing peace because this guy died. Well, anyways, I let this lady carry me around for a while, but eventually she had to call her family to tell them about me, her new boyfriend.
Tower, this is Jade. Get sick bay ready. Got a guy with a bad head wound and a bite on one arm.
And there I passed out purely because of love, but mostly blood loss. And that was just my first 5 minutes in Dying Light. But before more of that, those silly gooses at Techland just decided to announce another Dying Light game. And fellas, just like every 2000s rock band, Crane is back and tapping into his beast within after years of brutal experimentation. Dying Light the Beast features over 18 hours of gameplay and an open world so tightly knit your grandma would be proud. You'll explore multiple areas and biomes, drive a vehicle to remember what life was like before your license was taken away, and of course, dive into 4-player co-op so you can all fail miserably at parkour together. So make sure to check out and wishlist Dying Light the Beast today by clicking on that link in the description below, and thank you to Techland for sponsoring this video. It all went dark, and I awoke to the voice of demons!
You're scared. I'm not scared.
Or maybe children.
What if he's a zombie?
Zombie?
Zombie! Run!
I pursued the children in a frenzy of anger for waking me up, but I was stopped by Mr. Sarcasm
You
himself.
sleep for 3 days like a dead man done scare children? Off to a great start, 31.
Where am I?
In paradise, can't you see?
Is it behind that plant? The children had made toys out of empty soda cans. They have no idea how good they've got it. Now, when I was a kid, I went looking for the boss of the place, but all I found was another whiny kid who has life too good to know what real problems look like.
Are you the boss?
What, am I too young? You got the problem with my age? I don't want to see you or your precious radio anymore. So go be useful somewhere else. We don't tolerate lazy assholes here in the tower.
Taking jobs from a snot-nosed punk like this would take some getting used to, but if it meant his sister liked me more, I'd do anything!
Where do you think you're going?
The 13th floor. I'm getting some stuff for Raheem.
13? That's gonna be some dirty work.
Because honestly, how bad could things actually be?
How many people died here?
Okay, now this kid might have had it slightly difficult, but see, he's not even there. I had had enough of these spoiled, entitled juveniles. I was calling the police.
It's been over 70 hours.
I lost my radio for a while. Don't worry, my cover's intact.
But while I was in the middle of swatting this building, a cry from the darkness rang out.
Help!
It sounded like somebody was either in danger or needed to learn a lesson. So I waltzed straight into the room and beat the ever-living tar out of whoever was making all this racket. Never mind. It turned out that this was the screaming guy.
Getting away from him. That was my brother. I came down to see him and...
Easy. It's all right now. I'll get help.
Not wasting a moment, I ran around looking for anything I could use as a bandage. Now I immediately found the duct tape, great, and now all I needed was nails. Perfect.
Okay, who's hurt?
He's bleeding pretty bad.
Let me see him.
Even the nurse liked my handiwork.
Pretty primitive, but it'll work.
Instead of just using gauze and alcohol like everyone else does, I was innovating the field of medicine. I rushed back to that kid furious he sent me to do children's chores, but just calmed down in case Jade was there. And she was.
Raheem, you are just smart enough to be dangerous.
Oh, her honey words of passion. Surely whatever she was talking about included how heroic and brave and cool fool I was. It was definitely all about me.
Our mom's dead.
Surely that was code for something amazing I did and how much I am excellent and pertinent to their lives. And so I took my shot.
You're Jade, right?
Right?
I just wanted to thank you for what you did for me.
And how I cannot slumber until I acquire permission from your radiance.
Yeah, you do.
If you're going to earn your keep, we have to find out if you've got the skills. So get your ass up to the gym.
Well, I went up to the gym, which was actually a roof, but these people were so spoiled they didn't know the difference. They were so rich, they were using a crane as a chin-up bar.
Well, what are you waiting for? Get over here.
There was no possible way to figure out which direction I needed to go. I was lost, so I simply threw myself from the building. Turns out death doesn't exist here, so I just followed the sound of entitled punk.
Got to feel right at home. A crane on a crane.
With a great joke like that, I finally made my way to the kid and dared him to jump into a pile of garbage.
Watch this.
I then continued running his little course only to find out he was actually still alive and—
Not bad. For a noob.
How? How could he say this? I thought I was doing okay. I thought I was trying my best. But he threw that word in my face like I was nothing. Like nothing mattered. This was all hopeless. Everyone was going to die. With that, I finished his little parkour course. But of course, a course curse coerced me to break down upon Crane's crane.
What's happening to me?
Talk to me. What's going on?
Something.
Caesars reminds you that you're infected. You better go see Dr. Zera, though.
I ran down to get some help and found myself toe-to-toe against an old man. He didn't back down, didn't flinch. I couldn't handle it. So I went to the local store guy.
Oh, you're the new scout. Here, this is for you.
A table leg. Well, me and my new table leg had business to attend to, and so I rushed to bring peace to the world by— Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I needed other people to open doors for me. Sorry, my bad.
And try not to make too much noise. Sound attracts those.
I immediately forgot what that punk told me and decided to play with propane tanks in the streets like when I was a kid. The locals hated me, so I beat them to death in order to show them how serious I was about the environment. I also dug through their garbage for food and money. Once I learned to kick, it was all over for them. I proceeded to jump spin kick everyone in the mouth with the ferocity of an untrained white belt karate student who drank too much red juice before practice. I was an unstoppable force. Until hopscotch. As a tax-paying citizen myself, this game disgusts me. It's all about gatekeeping, constantly reminding minorities of their place in society, about blindly conforming to a system that divides, not unifies. Bet they didn't teach you that at hopscotch school, huh?
Doctor? Hello?
Well, anyways, I went into a strange trailer and got injected with some random vaccine or something. It was drugs.
On your way now.
And then they kicked me out. This always happens to me at medical clinics. Well, I met Spike because of his hair.
Hey, Spike? I'm Crane.
Just what I need. More unskilled labor. All right, shut up and pay attention. Now, Brecken and his team will be okay tonight so long as you get out there now and arm those traps. That's your part.
All right. What are these traps and how do I arm them?
You'll see.
Being the good lapdog I was, I ran across the city and immediately put my new firecrackers to the test, seeing how well they could distract the zombies. Turns out, very well. Too well, in fact. I could not stand for this level of efficiency. I made it to a local soccer field that was stealing power from the rest of the city, so I burst into the room of unlimited power, beat the crap out of the guard, and restored peace to soccer, reminding everyone that hopscotch is inferior government propaganda. I decided to peacefully pick a lock, being level-headed and calm about my precision, so I—
We need to get the power up and running ASAP.
Turns out power wasn't restored properly, and because I was expendable to them, they sent me to fix it. Unfortunately, they've been feeding their prisoners here nothing but protein shakes and steroids for years to create the perfect influencers for gym health. Like most content creators, this guy was immortal. So I deked around him and snuck into his house, ripped open a random panel, pulled a switch, and boom, the power was back on.
I've got the substation reset.
And I could finally go home. Except the unincredible Hulk was stalking me. A quarter the size, but all the green. He was terrifying. I didn't know how I would get any sleep that night knowing something like that was— I slept like a baby. I got a 10-hour sleep that night. I'm a peacekeeper. I don't let things like zombies affect me. And with that, I did what anyone would do in my position and got into my astronaut suit. For practical reasons, of course. Now, I arrived back at the hotel hoping I'd see— Wow, she's talking to me like I'm a person too. Maybe she has a crush on me. I bet that's what she's thinking about for sure. Nothing else.
Brecken?
Wait, who's Brecken?
Look, Brecken, the last thing we need is for you to go back out there.
Stupid Brecken? Sounds like breakfast, which I eat for breakfast.
I'll do it.
Right, yes. Crane will go. He'll be happy to.
We were out of Agos and Brecken was furious. Well, I wasn't about to let Jade fall prey to some guy whose name rhymes with nuclear weapon. Is that what we want? Nuclear war? Not on my watch. So I had to get serious. I tested out my new attack, Fall on an Enemy. It barely worked. Then discovered a safe house, and to continue establishing peace to this land, I began to kill everything within a kilometer radius. They called in reinforcements, but then I somehow found myself with a propane tank. And, well, one thing led to another, and now I'd be lying if I said things were under control. I'd also be lying if I said Brecken was cool. So that energy gave me the fight I needed to shuffle kick zombies off a building until they died. I cleared up the rest of the inferiors wandering my safe house, and once again brought power, stability, and prosperity back to approximately a 1,300 square foot dirt lot. I finally got back to the task at hand, opening large orange crates filled with drugs, but when I arrived there—
Damn it, nothing here.
Did you see that?
Yeah, 2 drops.
They landed elsewhere, unfortunately, but you're not that far away. Get to those crates before anyone else does.
There was no time to waste. My queen needed drugs, and it was my job to deal with them. Hear that, Brecken? I've got a drug deal. What are you doing with your life? I ran through the crowded streets until I arrived at the first drop.
Jade Rice's men got here first.
Okay, don't try to fight them. Just find the second one.
Obviously, by that, Jade meant, if you're cooler than Brecken, you will kill all of those men for my honor. And that is exactly what I did. Although things started off smooth, like butter, the fight began to get hard. Like frozen butter. I had to change something about my fight. But what? And that what gave me an idea. A plan. A frying plan. Huzzah! A great battle commenced! The great battle of Bonk, the legends foretold. These bandits tried as they might, but failed miserably before the power of a perfectly sized cast iron pan. One by one they fell. No match for my heroism. Sadly, they already did all the drugs. Regardless, I was moving up in the world. So much so, I was able to finally expand my knowledge of kick. To drop kick.
Crane, it's too close to sunset. You need to turn back now.
Hey, Jade, please let me impress you by doing the exact opposite of what you asked me to do. And with that, I tapped into my manly urge of climbing random tall structures in order to get that feeling of simply being up. I climbed with every ounce of ability my body could endure, forgetting about the fact that I'd somehow have to find a way down from this thing. But those weren't important details in this moment. And finally, when I was at the very top, had activated the power once again, it became an important detail. Luckily, there was a nice pile of mattresses and pillows that I completely missed. I found the crate of drugs everyone wanted me to find, but the problem was that there were several undrop-kicked zombies wandering around, so I made sure to put them in their place firmly before proceeding with the opening of the crate. And here I gazed upon the biggest pile of tackle boxes filled with anti-zombie drugs I had ever seen in my life. And trust me, I've seen a couple.
Here. I'm about to recover an antizin drop.
So if you find an airdrop containing antizin, destroy it.
What?
However, drugs are drugs. And if I learned anything from the highest height hot dog who smoked all the drugs so I didn't have to, well, these weren't the kind that people wanted. So I dumped them. Best decision I made all day. And then I gaslit Jade because this was all her fault.
Jade, I'm at the airdrop. There's no antizin here.
Done?
Unfortunately, it turns out I was right next to a restaurant for cannibals, and they had a zero peeping Tom policy. Worst mistake of my life. I ran through the city, hoping that maybe, just maybe, they didn't notice me, but I had a gut feeling that this wasn't the case. And after what felt like minutes of running, because it was, I made it to home free, and I made sure the zombies knew they weren't welcome here. But of course, when I got back, Brecken was talking to Jade. Unbelievable.
You need antizin. I know, but buying from Rise? You can't be serious.
I'll go. I'm not scared.
Absolutely not. We've discussed that already.
We didn't discuss it. You just decided that
I'll go.
Of course, when Brecken couldn't figure out how to do anything, I just stepped in to
serious?
show him how superior I was.
This Rice guy has never seen my face before. Clean slate, right?
Now, Jade looked impressed. Brecken looked like an idiot. This was a good plan, and I knew exactly how to do this. I ran to my room, threw on my Bill from Left 4 Dead cosplay, and began running across the city towards the guy who literally murders everyone. Naturally, on my way, I made sure to pick up some flowers, drop-kicked a flaming zombie, and watched nature in all its beauty.
I'm here to see Rice. Brecken sent me.
To make a deal.
Come to make a deal.
What kind of deal?
I'm here to make a deal.
A deal.
And just like that, we had a deal. Very quickly, I found out that the deal was zombie roof removal. And honestly, what a tedious job. Now, I know there's a lot of you viewers that have this job in real life, and my heart honestly goes out to what you have to deal with here. Zombies stuck in gutters, they're smudging windows, it's a lot. Just know that you will find the support you need in the comments section below. Well, after that fiasco, I returned to Rise, who then changed the deal.
Well, did you think I would be satisfied so easily?
Look, we really need the drugs. Let me have them now, and then I'll come back and do whatever.
Do all that I ask of you, and I will give you not one but 2 crates of antizin.
All right, fine.
Well, my next task was telling old men to give me money or else I'd break their legs.
How about I break both your legs and break both your legs and drag you through the streets back to Rice's? And then he can explain to you that you should have break both your legs and...
Okay. Here's your money. Take it.
And if I have to break both your legs...
Wow, did that ever feel good? I'm sure for everyone, what a relief. However, Brecken just had to call me with completely unimportant ramblings.
Listen, mate, time's getting short. We're almost out of antizin. Much as I'd hate to admit it, I'm getting worried.
I'm doing the best I can out here, Brecken.
Yes, Brecken, unlike you, I'm out here contributing. Speaking on contributing, I stumbled upon a flare, meaning there were crates of loot being guarded by incompetent buffoons. I took this opportunity to present you all to who would win in a fight, Hawkeye or Bill from Left 4 Dead with a frying pan. After firing a single arrow, I realized that using a frying pan was clearly the practical approach to combat. Those men stood no chance as they begged for mercy. None would be given. I made it back to Rice knowing that he'd probably not do the deal even more this time, and of course, unlike Brecken, I was correct.
Do you have something for me, friend?
Yes, I do. Now it's time for you to give me what you promised. 2 crates of antizin.
I think not. I will allow you this much.
You promised me 2 crates of it. This is only 5 vials.
If you want more, I present you with an opportunity. The athlete, the Scorpion, Jade Aldemir. She's one of your number. Bring her to me. I have an arena where men fight for our amusement.
What? No, forget it. I'm not doing it.
I hear no conviction in your voice, Crane. You have not yet made your choice, I can tell. Go and think about it.
He completely shirked the deal and told me that the only way to get more drugs was to become a human trafficker. Now, this was a tough decision. I needed some time to consider if drugs were worth humans. And instead of thinking it over properly, I decided to do something productive with my time. I knew what needed to be done and instantly began slaughtering the hordes of beasts that dared threaten my claim to the royal throne. Of course, skeletons entered the arena that needed to be drop-kicked back to whence they came. This was not for the faint of heart, and luckily, I've never fainted in my life, and my heart condition was healthy the last time I checked, but that does remind me that I should probably book an appointment to get my blood tested just to be on the safe side, you know? Not risk anything. I mean, I am getting older, not the spry young lad I once was, so it's good to be responsible with your health. So anyways, I mercilessly slaughtered my way through the great dungeon filled with morbid beasts, until I found myself standing before the great and mighty Torturer. Our battle would be legendary, as I had enough acid to last 2 whole parties back in 2006. The Torturer was a mighty foe, capable of much evil and torture and things similar to that, I'm sure, but what he did not predict was my axe. And although he did prove to be quite the foe, what he proved even more was that I was superior in every way. With a great huzzah, I slayed the monstrosity and freed myself from the dungeon. I now knew what my decision was. After much contemplation and consideration, there was only one feasible option. Yes, that was good. That was the right choice. Once again, thank you to Techland for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out Dying Light the Beast in the description below and add it to your wish list.
Dying Light the Beast. Wish list now.